Hey guys, good day and welcome to my podcast. My name is Mo and I will be your host for today. And welcome to MowMent, an introvert's stories in a podcast vlog fusion. And as you already know, as you can see, I am learning Aussie English and I am doing the Aussie accent right now because this is just for practice, okay? But, okay, I'm going back to my Asian accent. I started learning the Aussie English for a month now, I guess. I think it's been a month or more than, because one of my dream countries is Australia. And the reason why is because the flora and fauna are just very beautiful. And despite Australia having lots of dangerous animals as well, like the venomous snakes, having 90% of the venomous snakes in the world or something like that. You know, those beautiful facts. I think, it's just that the people, the culture, despite knowing just a very, very little bit, are very, very beautiful. And I would love to visit there someday. And in order for me to learn the Australian culture one by one, I started with learning the language. I think that applies to all people, that applies to all countries. In order for the person to know the countries, the culture of the country, one must learn the language first, and then from the language, if one already knows the language, then he or she can already explore little by little, like food, I don't know, the places, one of the tourist, maybe some tourist spots in a particular country or something like that. And I'm doing that right now. And since this is English, it will be easy for me to learn the culture of the Australian culture easily. But if it's another language, then it'll be, I think, difficult for me. It's just that I just really want to understand the Aussie English if I ever get to visit Australia someday. And also I want to be able to converse in a native Australian language, native Australian English. Oh my god, I keep on stuttering a lot. I think it will be more cool if I also have the Australian accent someday. And that's what I'm aiming. I think that's the objective of the Aussie English podcast. I don't know if I already mentioned Pete, but shout out to Pete from the Aussie English podcast for your invaluable lessons every day. I listen to your podcast every day, Pete, and you're the best. And thank you so much. And I'm going to listen to your podcast tomorrow, the next the following day, until I get to your latest upload, because I started with the episode 1. So currently I am in, I don't know what episode is it. It wasn't written at all, but I'm already around the part where Pete talks about the embarrassing English mistakes like sheet, shit, and the bitch, or something like that. It's kind of a funny episode, but but also very, very entertaining, because when I listen to the Aussie English podcast, I also tend to copy what Pete is talking about, especially the word pronunciation, how he pronounces the words. So I also copy. That is why I think there are also times when I also already pronounce the word in an Aussie accent, and I never listen to any podcasts or TV shows that has American accent in it, in order for me not to forget the Aussie English, because I'm still learning right now. So I don't know. I just practice very diligently the past few days. I think before starting the podcast, I already started studying the Aussie English. I am stuttering a lot. I'm so sorry. I think I'm getting nervous speaking in front of the camera again. But I hope you still stay with me, because I'm definitely gonna improve someday, of course. We are gonna nail the English language. でも日本語でもいいんだけどな。But I'm just joking. And one more thing. Sometimes I think about working in Australia. One day I thought about working in Australia and I said to myself that I am going to save a lot of money in order and then when I already have enough, I am going to transfer. I'm going to leave in Australia. I'm going to leave Japan and live in Australia and find work there. And yeah, something like that, because it started when I got stressed in my first or second job, I think, and then I started searching for good jobs to work in or something like that in Australia. And according to the internet, to those posts and comments that I read, Australian companies, or I think Australia in general, they value the personal time, the personal space of every workers, that sometimes when the workers, this particular worker, extended his working time, and then suddenly the boss told him to already log off, because it was already, he was already doing overtime. And the boss said that he should value his personal time because it was already weekend or something like that. It was already too late. So the boss told him to already rest, to already sleep and enjoy weekend. We can do that next week or something like that. I think that is wholesome. And Japan cannot relate the kind of stuff, because the more the person works overtime, the more the worker is appreciated. And I think it is also being considered normal. It's not appreciated, but it's normal. So you should do overtime or something like that here in Japan. But in other English-speaking countries, including Australia, they value the, or maybe depending on the work, of course. But I'm talking about those companies who value the personal time of the workers. I'm talking about those work like those office work, or maybe remote work, maybe IT or something. I'm not talking about those jobs that need to be alert 24/7. Like doctor, of course, or nurse or something like that, or the firefighters. I just find those work culture very, very fascinating. I think that is just very, very beautiful. Yeah, maybe if I fail in doing content creation, and if I fail here in Japan, maybe I'm gonna go to Australia and work there. I look forward to learning more about Australian culture, and I look forward to learning the Aussie accent. Someday I will master the Aussie accent, also as well as the English, because I tend to stutter a lot right now. And I am going to give an update about my progress in the Aussie English language. And I think that's it. This is just a short podcast. And I hope you enjoyed my short podcast. This is just so funny. I'm just making a joke out of myself. I know the person like me, who is not a native speaker, doesn't have to copy everything the native speaker is doing or what the native speaker is saying, but it's just that maybe that's just one of my target, because that's what I'm interested in, I think. Yeah. But anyway, thank you so much for listening to my podcast, and I hope to see you on my next episode. So if you haven't followed, if you haven't subscribed, if you haven't liked the podcast and the video yet, please do so. So I will be able to, so that I will get motivated. Oh my, I have no words to say now. So if I see one like on my video, or one follow, one like, one listen to my podcast on Spotify or Apple Music or wherever you may be, I will be so happy, because you took your time to listen and watch what I'm doing. As I said earlier, this is just a short podcast. I am going to see you on my next podcast. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good day. Please subscribe, please follow, like, and goodbye.